Evening, everyone. It's 6:15, and this is your closing comment. Excuse me, for Thursday night. A wonderful day. Um, Video number 650, and please hit that subscribe button and the like button. We're getting a lot of new subscriptions on this channel, and we appreciate it. Okay, so today started off with better than expected numbers for both initial claims and continuing claims, but rates moved higher. And in tonight's daily note, I'm going to make the point that all of these imbeciles on TV who are telling you that rates are going up for the right reason, they're basically full of crap. There is no right reason, and the speed at which they're moving is doubling the issue. And today, the good news was bad news because it pushed rates higher. The low for the Dow today was down just under 700, and it closed down 559.85, or 1 3/4%. But the big loser was actually, it was kind of a close one. The NASDAQ was down 478.5, or 3.52, but the Russell was down 84.21, or 3.69. So the Russell eked it out as the biggest loser. Certainly nothing to be pleased about. The S&P was down 96, or 2.45, and the transports were down 258.25, or 1.89%. Internals were terrible, 6-1 to the downside on both the NYSE and the NASDAQ, and volume was neither here nor there. A little higher than yesterday. You'd expect that on a day like today. Also, you have to remember that the meme stocks, primarily GameStop and AMC, also added a huge amount of volume to those statistics. So I'm going to say, if you really wanted to look at it clearly, volume was unimpressive and low. We had a bunch of earnings. Virgin Galactic with not great numbers. The numbers, it's kind of pre-revenue, so revenues don't really matter because there's nothing to compare them to. The loss was 31 cents versus 31 cents expected. And the stock had closed 42.24, down 3.88 during regular hours before the earnings came. And then when those earnings came, the stock went down as low as 35.20. The last is 36.93, down 9.17, or 20%. And the issue here is that they showed no growth. They showed no growth in reservations for people who want to take a flight. They showed no growth for jobs that they are getting from NASA and the Italian government. Just basically no growth. And in this market, that's the kiss of death. CRM, Salesforce, had great earnings. No disappointments there. The stock, however, was $231.08 before the earnings, down $9.39. And then after that, they moved all the way down to $219.60. The last that I have is $222.15, which is still down $18.32, or 7.5%. But I would say that CRM is an outright buy. The one outlier here was Twitter, who said that they are going to double earnings and revenues by 2022, and the stock was, as you'd imagine, rewarded. 74.59, up 267, or 3.7%. Carryover from last night's earnings, two of them, NVDA, which closed 532 down 4766 or 8.2%. It was another one that had, seemingly good numbers and just got carried away with the rest of the selling. This is a stock that has had a huge run. Yesterday, before the earnings, that had closed at 579.96, up 14.28, and then traded as high as 599.65. So the move to 532 down 47 off yesterday's high, or even last night's close, was pretty ugly. Viacom, on the other hand, also great numbers. Stock made a new high this morning at 67.85 and then proceeded to go back to 61.80 and close at 63, down 260 or just under 4%. We actually sold some Viacom up here the day before yesterday. And last but not least, we have Beyond Meat, whose numbers were so-so. The stock had closed 143.75, down 8.30, and on the earnings, which were okay, the stock jumped straight up and traded 169, turned right around and traded all the way down to 127, and closed somewhere in the middle, or the last is somewhere in the middle at around 139, down 13.05 or 8.58%. So not a stellar day there, but that's the kind of day that it was. Also, we had those meme stocks. GameStop traded as high last night as 309.83. Today's high, however, was 184, and the low was 94, so basically half. But the stock managed to close at 103, up 11.28 or 14%. AMC, on the other hand, traded as high as 11.89 pre-market, but in the real world, the high of the day was 11. The low of the day was 7.61, and we're just a penny above that at 7.63, which is down $1.46 or 16%. This stock at the beginning of the week was actually trading right around $6, so it's still up on the week, although with an almost 12 high and a 7.5 last, it's not a great looking chart. COS, the headphone makers, also traded as high as 39.45 last night. The high today, though, was 35.05, and the low 18.30. Last 18.95, up 51 cents. So another one that was overcut in half from the high to the low today, even though it closed up 51 cents. The chart on the screen is Bitcoin, and we had a 2-day rally here off the low, higher low, lower high. Today, slightly higher low, lower, also higher high, but it closed near the low and barely up on the day. Looks actually like it closed down 15 on the day, and tonight is trading at 47,845, which is down 12.75, and which breaks today's low. If we break yesterday's low, which was 47,010, so not very far from here, about 1,000 points, which is meaningful. I'm going to guess that we will test the low, and I think ultimately we come down to this 39,000-40,000 area. Gold was down 22. The dollar was down about 3 cents at 14, so nothing much there. And the oil was actually up, another new recovery high at 63.81, I believe the number is. It's down about 18 cents right now, 12 cents now. And remarkably, it is just hanging right here, right by the top after that new recovery high followed by the close down on the day, and we just couldn't get very far. And then Monday's big day up 244, and this continues to build, which makes all the sense in the world if you look at the reopening trade. But today, it just didn't matter. Interest rates up, financials down, stock market down, Bitcoin down, gold down. All of these things are very, very overbought. You have to remember that even with down 500 on the NASDAQ, we're still less than 1,000 points away from the high. So we're basically, down 1,000 on 14,000. So 1/14, that's about 7%. So 7% from the high, and the Dow is even closer to the high. So that's about it. We are long. We sold half of our floor calls. Only about half of my people actually got them, which is why they don't appear on the ledger. But the people who did get it sold half on the 100% up rule, and I think they closed around $1.70, so that would be still 60 cents in the money. The Walmart calls bought yesterday are down about 30 cents, so nothing overwhelming there, and it's only a position of 3 contracts, 3 contracts. And the other position in the bonds is also a small position, but it is down about 50%. However, the bonds are actually up about 9:30 seconds tonight. So we'll see how those work in the morning. All right, everyone, have a good evening. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Hope everyone had an okay day. Hope everybody had a couple of shorts or at least had taken some profits. And I'll be back first thing in the morning.